तेरे जाने का असर कुछ ऐसा हुआ मुझ पर, तुझे ढूंढते ढूंढते मैंने खुद को पा लिया।
I remember the date well, March 4th, 2006. I was in Kolkata and about to reach Happy's home. I had been very excited all morning as I was going to see our gang of four after 3 years. After college, all of us were pretty much involved in our stereotypical lives. One day, we found out that Happy was coming back from London for 2 weeks. Everybody was game for a reunion. Happy's place in Kolkata, March 4th, 2006, we decided. Finally, on the scheduled date, I was climbing the stairs to Happy's apartment 2 steps at a time. It was about 12:30 in the afternoon when I knocked on his door. His mom opened it and welcomed me in. As I had often been there, she knew me well. For me, Happy's house never meant too many formalities. I was having some water when she told me that Happy was not at home and his cell was switched off. A little later, there was another knock on the door. I got up from my chair to open it, as Happy's mom was in the kitchen. I pulled it open to shouts of, "Oh, Burra, dude. Yeah." No, it wasn't Happy. MP and Amardeep had arrived. Seeing your college friends after 3 years is so crazy and exciting that you don't even realize you are at someone else's place where you should show some manners and be polite. Then again, the very purpose of this reunion was to recall our college days, and this was the perfect start. While we made ourselves comfortable on the sofas in the drawing room, Manpreet asked about Happy's whereabouts. "He's not on time in his own home," I said, looking at Manpreet, and we laughed again. For the next half hour or so, the three of us talked, laughed, and made fun of each other while eating lunch made by Happy's mother. Yes, we started our meal without Happy. This might not sound decent, but we had genuine reason. Nobody could predict his arrival, so there was no point in waiting. A little later, there was another knock. Happy's mom opened the door. "Happy Via." Manpreet shouted, getting up from the dining chair. Amardeep and I stared at each other. It seemed as if Manpreet was going to shed tears as he hugged Happy. We remembered how these guys used to cry during their long boozing sessions, when their brains switched off and their hearts started speaking. We all stood up to hug him, and as soon as that was done, we continued our lunch. Happy also joined us. The food that day was very tasty. Or maybe it was just because we were having lunch together after so long and that made it special. After lunch, we moved to another flat, a few floors above, in the same building. This was the second flat which Happy's family owned, and was meant for relatives and friends like us. We were laughing at one of MP's jokes while moving in, and were probably still laughing as we fell on the giant couch in the drawing room, upside down, legs on the couch and our torsos on the floor, arms spread across and facing the ceiling. In the hostel, Amardeep was the first among us to wake up and, of course, the only one to wake up others. So we knew that it was our early morning Amardeep. We human beings have such a weird nature. While asleep, we hate the person who is trying to wake us up, but once we are awake, we tend to love that same person because he did the right thing. As usual, Amardeep was successful in his endeavor. It was 7 in the evening. This was the first time Amardeep and Manpreet had come to the city, so we decided to explore the streets of Kolkata. Fortunately, our host possessed 2 bikes, his own Pulsar and his younger brother's Splendor. We got ready and pulled out the bikes from the garage. Manpreet and I got on the Splendor, Happy and Amardeep on the Pulsar. We went to the Victoria Memorial and few other places. At times, we got down to have some fruit juice. At times, we halted to enjoy Kolkata's famous snacks and sweets. We were at some place, enjoying iced tea in an earthen cup, when Manpreet asked, "When do we need to get back home?" It was already 10:30 when the discussion started. A serious discussion, a discussion that changed my life. It started with another So, Amardeep asked this time, looking at Happy. "What?" Happy asked, raising his chin. What's the next important thing? Amardeep asked. You mean dinner? No, I mean the next important thing in life. Schooling, done. Engineering, done. Getting a good job, done. Going abroad, done. Bank balance, in progress. What's the next milestone? Ah, I know what you're talking about, Happy nodded.
He said, pointing his already raised chin towards me. Everyone looked at me. I don't know what's going on in your life and family, but my mom and dad are going crazy. They are after me like you wouldn't believe. Don't I make a good bachelor? I said. The story is the same everywhere. We poor bachelors, MP said, trying to be funny. I am serious, MP, Amardeep said. So, have you or your family fixed something? I asked him. No. My story is just like yours. But the fact is that, one day we'll have to settle down with a life partner. How long can we ignore our parents' questions? They too have expectations, wishes, and dreams for us. I know what you mean, Amardeep. But are you really ready to spend your whole life with someone? I mean, in our 4 years at the hostel, there were so many times when we had to adjust with each other. This one will be for a lifetime, Happy said. But, sooner or later, we have to do this, right? Amardeep asked. What if we just carry on the way we are? MP said. Then imagine yourself at the age of 60, living alone. Life isn't that easy, my friend. It's a journey. And the best way to complete it is with a life partner, Amardeep said. That night, on the bank of the river, the four of us discussed this issue seriously, for the first time. Maybe it was the first time we felt we were mature enough to talk about it. So many questions, ifs and buts were raised and answered between us. So many views were brought in and debated. None of us was against marriage, but we wanted to evaluate its benefits. Amardeep and I were quite convinced about the marriage thing. And this discussion made Happy and MP think about the matter quite seriously, even it didn't convince them. Which reminds me of a slogan I read on a t-shirt, if you can't convince her, just confuse her. But then, other things come into the picture. Love marriage or arranged marriage? Parents' choice or ours? Happy said. Now, that's a personal choice. But given that we are independent, I don't think our parents will object to our decision, Amardeep said. Happy kept mum hearing this. But Amardeep, look at our lives. All of us are North Indians, working in faraway states. The chance of finding a soulmate, in this case, is quite slim. Moreover, the kinds of jobs we have don't give us the time to interact with different people. And above all, none of us would like to marry a girl chosen by our parents, if I am not wrong, Manpreet said. Are they really useful? I don't think so, MP put forward his view. To know if a dish is sweet or salty, you have to taste it first. That's the only way to know things for sure, Amardeep answered. Or better yet, ask a person who has already tasted it. Why take a chance? Happy said, trying to make us laugh. So Ramji, you on any such website? I asked. Not yet. But I'm thinking of it, Amardeep said. It's quite late and I'm damn hungry. Let's get home. We spent the next day visiting some of the best hangouts in Kolkata. Being with your best friends is simply wonderful. We ate, drank, talked and enjoyed to the fullest at a pub called Someplace Else. That was the last night of the reunion trip. All three of them came to drop me at Howrah station and, once again, the four of us hugged, just like we had at Hyderabad station, on the last day of college. Who's going to cry first? Manpreet asked. But all of us laughed at that stupid and senti question. The train called me with its final whistle. I got into the carriage and stood at the door, waving to them all as the train left the platform. I reached Bhubaneswar the next morning. That same morning, Amardeep and Manpreet boarded flights back to their respective places. Soon afterwards, Happy also flew back to London.